Greetings, Otaku Faithful. Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to bring you all yet again another Arrow episode review right here on Otaku Assemble! Weekly, as always, I'm here to bring you the latest in this week's Arrow episode review, and this is my review of Season 1, Episode 3, entitled Lone Gunmen. Now, don't have much to say about this week's episode. Unfortunately, I didn't dig this week's episode as much as I did last week's episode, and that mainly has to do with their treatment of Deadshot in this week's episode. Well, correction. Their treatment of Deadshot and the treatment of the flashbacks in this week's episode honestly weren't as engaging to me as they were in last week's episode. So first off, I do want to talk about Deadshot. Now, here's my thing. Now, I'm familiar with Deadshot, and for the most part, as far as media outside of comic books, Deadshot, he's the same. He's, hired assassin, he hired gun. He, a lot like Bullseye in Marvel, except not as egotistical. But that's it. That's all they really use him for. And see, my thing is this. I know a lot of people didn't care for Deadshot's portrayal in Smallville because they made him more of like a cowboy, the hat, the trench coat. They made him more of kind of like the wandering gun, like the outlaw who comes into town and takes care of the shit. That's kind of the vibe. I mean, don't get me wrong. Deadshot was the same in Smallville. His occupation was the same in Smallville that it is in Arrow. He's hired assassin. That never changes about the character. It's the same thing. I'm talking about his portrayal, the way he's adapted. And even though I know a lot of fucking comic book fans didn't like the way Deadshot was portrayed in Smallville, I still thought it was more interesting than how he was portrayed in Arrow. Because, now, okay, I dug the tattoo thing, but then it also made no fucking sense in the fact that why in the hell would you tattoo the names of your victims on yourself? That doesn't seem smart. Now, granted, Deadshot is already, highly fucking wanted by Interpol and so on and so forth, but still, I mean, is it kind of cool? Maybe, but is it stupid? Absolutely. And then of course, not much dialogue, the whole cat and mouse going on throughout the episode, and then of course, one arrow to the eye and he's out. So, all in all, Deadshot was one of the villains that before the series aired, they were really pushing like, hey, we got Deadshot, and yeah, that's all we got. Let me put it like this. Not to just drag on because I'm starting to sound incoherent as shit. All in all, I'm starting to grow tired of the character because I don't think enough people are doing interesting things with him outside of the comics. That's all I'm saying. Animation-wise, live-action television-wise, there doesn't seem to be doing much with Deadshot as a character to begin with, so I don't really care for him. And this episode of Arrow was no exception. Okay. Second thing I want to talk about. My only thing with the flashbacks in this week's episode, like I said, I don't felt like... First off, I don't think we got enough information. And I honestly felt that the episode could have gone with, well, nah, I can't really say that because there is a parallel between, Oliver being attacked and, him trying to escape, from someone who's clearly a stranger to him and who he might view as savage or strange or whatever. He doesn't know whether or not to trust the dude or not because remember, the dude did shoot him. So, clearly that's drawing a parallel to how he's trying to approach this new adversary in Deadshot. But like I said, I don't think there was enough information in the flashback to where that was achieved. You see what I'm saying? You got to piece it together yourself with what little they give you. Whereas I would have much rather preferred them, you know, just more information, and possibly they could have done something to where, you know, maybe it's like his first lesson that he learns while on the island or something like that, that helps him defeat Deadshot or something like that. Something, more information in the flashback, and then something at the end of the episode that ties the events of this episode in with that flashback, is what I'm saying. Okay. I gotta talk about the fucking fights, man, because I made this comment in last week's episode, and I'm gonna make this comment again about this week's episode, how these underwhelming, anticlimactic fights to wrap up these episodes. And this is what I mean. I don't need like an epic, you know, full-fledged hand-to-hand combat thing. No. I mean, honestly, between fucking Arrow and Deadshot, what I would have preferred is something that's more or less like they're hunting each other. And it's a real suspense, you know, nail biter, like, oh shit, you know, one covers up the other's tracks, you know, the other sneaking up on the other one. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, anybody who's seen The Departed, the Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon scene when they're in the alleyway, and The American with George Clooney, both scenes when he's, you know, running behind or, you know, running from people in the little corridors in the village. That's what I mean, like this, you know, the cat and mouse kind of hunting, you know, the who's hunting whom type thing. That, I think, would have been much better than just, oh, run up, you know, shoot, duck behind something, say a couple of words, turn around and just pop the dude in the eye. You see what I'm saying? And then in last week's episode, the fight with China White, you know, a fucking triad assassin who's clearly trained in martial arts and shit, and it was over like that. That's not good. Is what I'm saying. It like I said, it's underwhelming, it's anticlimactic, and it just makes all the action of the episode leading up to it just fall on its face. Because the whole idea is you're supposed to be building upon action with more action. You see what I'm saying? And they don't do it. It's like they build up and then they just drop the ball. What else? Okay, Oliver's kid sister, honestly, I'm just going to make this comment about Oliver's kid sister. I don't know how else to put it, but I couldn't help but, you know, while watching this episode, I kept saying to myself, it's like, white people need to start beating their fucking kids. Honestly, because, you know, I know, you know, race probably doesn't have anything to do with it, but honestly, you know how you always hear the stories of, like, you know, these privileged, you know, white kids who are out of control and the parents don't know what to do with them? You never hear that shit about black people, because we beat our fucking kids, okay? That girl is what, 16, 17? You see what I'm saying? When I was 16 and 17, when I was fucking 16 and 17, my parents still, you know, reserved the right to fuck me up. I'm 23 years old and my parents still reserve the right to fuck me up when I'm out of line. And I'm sorry, but that shit bugged the shit out of me. It's like, y'all need to start disciplining y'all fucking children. The timeout bullshit don't work. And honestly, man, like, just the conversation with her and her mom, where I'm like, man, her mom just needs to fucking backhand her in the mouth. That's all it takes, is just one, just bow, in the mouth. Have her cover up, you know, she'll be so fucking shocked. She'll be holding her fucking mouth, her eyes will be watering, she won't know what the fuck to do with herself. Because all it takes is that one, just bam, that one good backhand to the lip. You know, maybe enough to even bust her lip a little bit, but just that, a nice little sting right here, make her, just freak her the fuck out. And she'll fall the fuck in line. In the club scene, I was waiting for Oliver to just grab her by the scruff of her fucking neck and just fucking jerk her head back and scare the shit. Like I said, when I'm talking about people, when I'm talking about disciplining your kids, when I'm talking about using, you know, physical discipline, I'm not talking about pounding the shit out of them. I'm talking about doing shit that'll scare the fuck out of them. So like I said, you know, grabbing a motherfucker by the scuff of her neck and jerking her back, that'll scare the shit out of her. That's all you'll need, you know. And you take her head and you face her towards you, and then you say what you need to say with her, and she'll be freaking the fuck out. That's all you need. That's all you need. But god damn it, man, that girl is. But to be honest though, I got a feeling that's gonna go somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Like her just acting out and shit. It's there for a reason, and I got a feeling. I'm hoping that that's gonna pay off. Is what I'm saying. That it's there now because this is the challenge that character will have to overcome. This is what is her current situation, and this is what's going to set the foundation for her moment of change when she stops being irresponsible, stop being, you know, a troublemaker, and when she'll have a moment to redeem herself. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's in place. I know why the character is the way she is, and that's what I'm telling you. That's why. Diggle, or yeah, Diggle. That's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Who is right? Look, man. I had to do it in the fucking Sons of Anarchy video, and I'm gonna do it again in this one. Somebody better pick up the fucking phone, cause I fucking called it. Who said? Who was gonna be the first one to find out Oliver was fucking Arrow? Who said it? I know I fucking said it, cause I said it last week. I remember myself saying it. I knew it. I fucking knew it. So I'm hoping now, honestly, I'm hoping that from now on, now that he knows that Oliver is Arrow, I'm hoping that he'll they'll start teaming up and working together and shit. Also, I would really like for fucking Oliver to have somebody around to where he can talk to, because I still stand by what I said in the first episode review. Those narrations are bad. Those narrations at times are cringy. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Like, look, listen, not everything, I've said it before, I'll say it again, not everything translates from a comic book page to television, to TV or to film. One of the things is the internal dialogue. Sometimes you can get away with it if it's real good narration. Case in point, look at Sin City. Sin City has some of the best fucking narration in comic book adaptations. But you know, when you look at shit like Iron Man, when you look at shit like Batman, you know, once again, the same type of character, the rich character turned superhero, when he has to think about shit, how do those two get away with doing it? They're talking to their assistants, whether it's Bruce talking to Alfred, or Bruce talking to Robin or someone, or Tony talking to Jarvis, or talking to Rhodey, or talking to Pepper. You see what I'm saying? Oliver's by himself right now. Get Oliver somebody that he can share his secret with, and it will give you the opportunity to no longer need the narrations, because Oliver will have someone to talk this shit out with. You see what I'm saying? That's how you fix the narration problem. Because I don't think I don't think the narration is just going to fix itself. That is a viable avenue to where you wouldn't have to do them anymore. Give him somebody to talk to, man. And that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on this week's episode. In the I want to thank you. Tongue-tied. I want to thank you all for joining me again this week. And in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this week's episode. I'm still not sure whether or not I'll be able to get the discussion of the week and comic book Hollywood videos out this weekend. I'll try though, but I'm gonna be hella busy this weekend. So, with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. I'm signing off, and until next time, peace.